Ball State Sports Link's third down chirp is delivered by Dillman's Furniture. We make comfort affordable. Visit DillmanFurnitureOnline.com today for more info.
We're back. Welcome, everybody, to the spring edition of Third Down Chirp, delivered by our friends at Dillman's Furniture. Speaking of my friends, I'm joined by Zach Hughes, Tyler Bradfield. Guys, it is great to be back talking some Ball State football. We had to get the chairs. The chairs were lost. We had to dust off the desk. It's been a while since we could talk some Ball State football.
It's been a while, guys, and it's my last time here with you. I'm going to miss it, but it's great to have one more.
And, you know, why not one more time with you? It kind of seems odd, though. Football season's just right around the corner.
It is. As the weather's starting to heat up, so is the football conversation. And let's not waste any more time. There are always huge topics with this Ball State football team, and there is a lot of anticipation is building in the air. After a 10-win season last year for Ball State, let's recap that 2013 season. And guys, it is only the second time, I repeat, the second time in school history that Ball State went to back-to-back bowl games. Yes, it didn't end in the way they wanted. As you can see, Arkansas State getting the win in the GoDaddy Bowl. But nonetheless, a very solid season for Ball State, a great season, 10 wins. Zach, when you go back and you relive last year, what really stood out to you?
Luke, you mentioned it, 10 wins. It's such a great season for Ball State. I think it was just a little frustrating because in each of the three losses, they were so close to getting those wins. You look at North Texas, they led 27-9. They ended up losing that one 34-27. Then you go to NIU, you're up 24-20 at halftime. Ended up getting blown out of that game, we'll say, in the fourth quarter, but so close still in the third quarter. And then with Arkansas State in the bowl game, their field goal blocked at the end. So just such a good season for the Cardinals, just so close in those three losses that you wanted them so bad those three games.
The thing that stood out to me was the stretch midway through the year. Ball State got off to a nice start. They were 3-1 despite the loss at North Texas. They then come home, Toledo, Virginia, Kent State, the next three stretch. An extremely tough schedule against Toledo. They get the win at home for their fourth game of the year. They're 4-1 rather than 3-2 at that point. Then they go to Virginia, a team that's from an automatic BCS qualifying conference, the ACC, upset Virginia on the road in ACC country, and then Kent State turned back home, another tough opponent in the Golden Flashes, and what do you know? They pull out the win. And all three of those games could have bounced either way. Say all three of them had been a loss. Ball State's 3-4 rather than 6-1 at that point.
The thing that stood out to me when you just rethink and relive last year is how many injuries Ball State put up. You know, Kevon Maybon, as you can see on the screen, broke his collarbone, out for the rest of the year. One of the top-notch wide receivers for this Ball State team. And you had Martez Hester go down with an injury in the secondary. Just so many injuries, yet they were still able to replace those guys. Not necessarily replace, that may not be the right word, but still contribute and still get those huge, important wins on the season and winning 10 games. This is not the norm in Ball State. Only the third time in school history they have won 10 or more games. That's not an average season. That's not a frustrating season. That's a great season, but now that's the norm. People are expecting you to go to bowl games, and there's a great reason why people love Coach Limbo and what he's done here in Muncie, Indiana. There's always that one moment, though, that you always rethink and go, that's the moment that I will always treasure about this season. Zach, for you, what's that moment you will always treasure about the 2013 season?
I think this is going to be a little selfish or appear that way, but Luke, when you took my tape over to Rich Strofsky, I don't know, it was just so much fun for me. Obviously, you come out to my intramural championship game, and it's going to be what I'm going to remember the most. You film me, and I don't really know what you're going to do with the tape. You go, Zach, I have a surprise for you. I have a surprise for you. Then we come Central Michigan week, and the first time I see it is when we're here sitting at this desk, and it was awesome of Coach Skrosky to do that. Thanks to you for doing that for me. It was just, it's something I'm always going to remember, and it's always going to make me very happy looking back on my time with you guys.
Well, I don't know if that's selfish, because if I had that tape, I'd want it shown all the time.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the moment that has to be is the game at Virginia, and the fact that Ball State goes in front of 40,000 fans, and in the second half outscores Virginia 31-10. That was a surreal moment. Ball State against Virginia going there 31-10 in the second half. Jawan Edwards had an outstanding game. Keith Wenning, and despite Willie Snead being out, Jordan Williams with another great game as you see him take the catch over the shoulder to the house. But 31-10 in the second half of Virginia, pretty special.
For me, guys, and I know Zach was saying he's going to be a little bit selfish. I'm going to be a little bit selfish here as well. I had the pleasure to be on the Ball State Football Radio Network broadcast crew this year with Joel Gadet, Mark O'Connell, and Jeff Weller. And it's the exact same as Tyler. Being able to stand with Coach Limbo on that field after that game, upsetting Virginia, is just a moment I will never forget. It's the stone silence of the stadium, the chirps coming from the Ball State fans behind us, and really just the raw emotion that Coach Limbo was feeling and just the players were feeling. That was a huge game for him because his wife used to work at UVA. Half his coaching staff was from that part of the country. That was like their IU game. For a lot of folks here in the state of Indiana, beating IU was huge. That was huge for the coaching staff because that's their part of the country, where they're from, where they go. That's why it was so big to get that win. And being able to talk to him after that game was awesome. And of course, there were so many great memories, but that is the one that stood out to me. Well, there's been so many great players in Ball State football history, but no Cardinal has ever been able to rush for over 100 yards in a bowl game. That wasn't until Jawan Edwards did it this past year in the GoDaddy Bowl, being the first Cardinal to be able to rush for over 100 yards in a bowl game. But Jawan's got some great stories on his tattoos, and one of the great new features for Ball State Sports Link has been Cardinal Ink. Our buddies Andrew Boltemeyer and Nick Ewing take a look at Jawan Edwards' tattoos.
Hi, I'm Jawan Quick Edwards, and I'm inked up. I got my first tattoo when I was in 9th grade. Went to a couple tattoo shops, and because of our age, they wasn't trying to give it to us, so I wasn't 18 yet. I ended up winning a big rivalry game against Independence High School, and my mom let me get a tattoo. Me and my friend went, and we got our names. I wanted the tattoo. A couple of my friends had it, older guys had it. It was something that I wanted, so I got it. My next one was probably a couple weeks after that. After the first one, it gets addictive, man. I'm telling you, it hurts, but while you're looking at it, you just want it to look good. So, my favorite tattoo I have probably this heart with this football in it, just because being around it since a young age, and it's brought me to Ball State. I met so many good people, and just had so many good experiences off of it. So that's probably my favorite tattoo. I really didn't have a reason. I just know I wanted one religious arm, and I wanted one arm where I can express myself. I went with the religious arm. I got the scripture, the Serenity Prayer. My grandfather and my dad said it a lot, so I decided to get that. And I got this big Jesus face first, just because that was one of the things that I wanted on me. Jesus was big in my life. This car is in this fire. This is one of the worst days of my life. Me and my friend got in the car wreck, and the guy we wrecked died. He was on a motorcycle, so. My friend didn't end up playing no more. He was driving. He went to jail. He went to jail. I didn't go to jail. I could have drove. We was a second or two away from switching seats. I said, "Nah, bro, you drive." And he ended up turning on the street and ended up getting into that wreck. So it could have been me. It just made me realize that you was a chance away from being here. It's people in this world that want to live that can't live. There's people in this world that want to do things that they can't do, and you out here, so make the best of it. I would definitely get more tattoos, because being through here, I'm definitely going to get a Ball State tattoo when I leave. Being here just taught me a lot. Like I said, memories. I have a lot of memories here at Ball State. I've broken records here at Ball State. So, Ball State is a big thing. I know that's going to be one of the next tattoos I get in the near future, and just experiences, I love the tattoos I got, and it is what it is. I'm gonna be with them forever.
Good news is Jawan is coming back and will be running more for the Ball State Cardinals this year. Bad news, there's a lot of holes to fill for this Ball State football team this year. So many great seniors leaving, and you had underclassmen like Willie Snead declaring for the NFL draft. Deservedly so. All those guys, we wish them the best of luck and hoping they can make their dream come true and be in the NFL. But for you guys, what will be the factor this team misses the most about the senior class and guys like Willie Snead who are declaring for the NFL draft?
I think they're going to miss Zane Fakes a lot. I know he had kind of an underachieving year, but it seems like he was one of Keith's big targets last season and all throughout his career. And I know Keith's gone too, but Zane was such a good blocking tight end as well. I know there's going to be the next man up, but they might miss him, and he was a crucial player for the past few seasons.
I think you could point at any one of these seniors and say why they will be missed and why Ball State will miss them. But I say the group as a whole. They came from the bottom, rose all the way to go to back-to-back bowl games. They were Ball State football. They breathed the limbo system through and everything. So I think it's just the group as a whole. You're going to miss every single one of them.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. That's exactly what the Ball State
We got
football
Luke
team
singing
did.
now.
Oh boy, let's not get my remakes tape here on Third Down Chirp. But no, exactly what Tyler said. The one thing you miss about a senior class, and this is a very cliche thing to say, but it's just that leadership. Just knowing they've been through the hard times. But the good news is this class now, these group of seniors, this group of the football team, what are they used to? They're used to winning. That winning culture. Not the, no pun intended with Keith winning, but they are. They are used to winning big-time football games. I don't think they're definitely going to be missed because their production level, I mean, who wouldn't want all of those numbers back, all those touchdown backs, all of those just highlight reel catches that Willie Snead and company would have. But the good news is that allows a lot of guys to step up, have some opportunities to be taken this year, and for them to be on the highlight reel for Third Down Chirp later this year. Well, as we were preparing for Third Down Chirp, I was starting to write questions for Coach Skrosky, Coach Bateman, the usual coordinators. Well, there's a lot of changes on the Ball State coaching staff as well, but some good changes as we are glad to welcome in some new guys, and one of them being the defensive coordinator, Coach Kelly. We caught up with Coach Kelly and as well as defensive lineman Nick Miles, mentioning the transition of how Coach Kelly has came to Muncie and how Nick and other players are adapting to his system.
Well, I think the coaching style brings intensity, and if you don't bring that as a defensive football coach, your defense won't follow suit. So I try to be the leader and be intense out in that field and be active, and then I think the players will do the same thing. I think just overall we tried to simplify some things. Coach Bateman is a heck of a football coach, and he did some great things schematically, and we're a fairly young football team, so I wanted to pare it down so that, like I said, as far as the concepts, learning those, and then once the season starts, then we can adjust to week by week.
First impressions, Coach Kelly was he was intense, but he's a good person. So he's not somebody that's gonna come out and down you and dog his players. He's more of an encourager, and that's what I like about Coach Kelly.
The main emphasis overall, the big picture, is understanding our defensive concepts. And once we understand the concepts we get during the season, then we can adjust as the season goes on. So that's the main focus, and really getting on the same page, because we do have some new words, new terminology. It's right now Ball State's French, and I'm learning some French, and they're learning my language, Spanish. So we're getting together and learning the Ball State defensive language. So that's really the emphasis here this spring.
I guess we will see what kind of language comes out with that French and Spanish when you mix them together this year for Coach Kelly. We appreciate him taking the time. Well, after Zach Hughes bombarded and surrounded Keith Wenning doing the Winning feature story, he decided to leave. That's why he's gone and no longer staying here at Ball State. No, Keith Wenning graduating and moving on to the NFL. Don't know where yet where he's going to go. We'll find out in the NFL draft. But that means there is going to be a quarterback competition. That's a phrase you haven't heard in Muncie, Indiana in a long time. We caught up with head coach Pete Limbo and offensive coordinator Joey Lynch, and here are their thoughts, because who cares what we think? Those guys are the one that will be making the decision on who will be the next quarterback under center for the Ball State Cardinals.
This is year 14 for me as a head coach, so I've had a lot of quarterbacks before Keith Wenning, and we'll have a lot after. So this is all part of the job. It's the fun part of the job because we've got a great competition going on right now.
I think all 4 guys are really eager. They want to learn. They want to be the guy, but they're doing it the right way. They're competing every day, but they're still cheering for the teammate when they make a great play. And they understand that this thing's not a sprint.
You need to know what to expect when a guy comes out here every day, and if you know what to expect in terms of how they practice every day, you got a pretty good idea what to expect when Colgate rolls around on August 30th.
We don't want a guy that's up and down. One day he's really hot, one day he's really cold. We want a guy that just can manage the game, execute, and put in position to have success.
The ratings for Third Down Chirp are going through the roof right now. I don't know if we can keep going. I think the ratings are just going soaring, but we have to because we have a very special guest joining us here on Third Down Chirp. We've been working through the contracts, the negotiation process. It's about time we welcome our friend Aaron Hatt to the Third Down Chirp desk. Buddy, it is great to have you on the show. It's about time.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for having me. I mean, it's always it's my dream to be out here on Third Down Chirp. Love what you guys do.
Oh, my goodness. I'm afraid we're going to have a new host in the fall, maybe Aaron Hatt. So we'll have to see what happens. But, Aaron, obviously everyone's excited for the football season upcoming. For you as a player, what has spring practice been like after such a very successful season last year?
It's been really, really competitive this spring. I mean, we have a lot of spots to fill from the seniors who graduated, that kind of thing. But guys are stepping up and guys are really playing to their potential. So it's been really, really competitive and really fun to be a part of and fun to watch other guys step into bigger roles.
Aaron, obviously you guys lose your offensive coordinator, Rich Skrosky, and then also on the other side, I know you don't play defense, but Jay Bateman. How weird is it without those two? Obviously they run a lot of practice and a lot of those things. Is it weird, different, or just the same kind of because Coach Limbo's still there?
It's obviously going to be a little bit different just because we have a new coaches just with like different idiosyncrasies and that kind of thing. But I guess having guys like Coach Lynch come in, he kind of has been around Ball State for quite some time, so he's really kind of just done what we do, that kind of thing. Coach Kelly has brought a new kind of attitude to the defense, and I really like the way the defense is looking. So.
Spring practice from last year to this year, how has it changed for you as a receiver, knowing last year who your starter is compared to this year, the quarterback battle going on?
It's definitely been a little different because last year we had Keith, and everybody kind of knew Keith was going to be the guy and that kind of thing. But Ozzie, Jack, David, and Kyle, they've done a great job just stepping into their new roles and really kind of just competing and getting ready for the season. For me personally, I really enjoy getting to know those guys and sucking up to them so they'll throw me the ball, that kind of thing. So.
Well, this is Mr. Happ. You've been a part of Ball State Sports Link, been a major role of Ball State Sports Link. I know you'll continue to do that in the fall. For you, what's that one thing that Sports Link does that kind of got you hooked and wanted to be a part of the group?
I always saw the feature stories, that kind of thing. Even when I was like a high schooler, I kind of saw all those things, and I really, really thought those were awesome. That's kind of like a passion of mine is making stories like you see on TV shows and stuff like that. So I really saw that kind of thing, and I saw what SportsLink does with live remotes and live broadcasts, and I really thought that's the path I want to go on, and I'm happy to be here. So,
Aaron, I have a two-parter, I think, for you. First, what's your favorite thing you've been able to do? Let's start with that as a member of SportsLink.
Oh, man. My favorite thing's definitely been the live broadcasts. Mm-hmm. For me personally, I'm a really competitive guy, and it's really kind of fun just going out there like during a live broadcast and almost like competing for the best shot, that kind of thing. And like I want to have the best camera work and that kind of thing. So that's been my favorite part.
All right, and before you go, Tyler, Aaron, I have to ask you, who's your favorite person that you've met in SportsLink?
Oh, geez.
You're getting brownie points here.
Who said Zach Hughes could ask two questions?
I got special privileges.
We had a one-question thing. We're going two.
It's got to be Zach Hughes, the senior. I mean, he's leaving, but he's definitely you, man.
One of the best. I appreciate it.
Aaron, real quick, you see both sides, the athletic scene and the SportsLink scene. Are there any comparisons there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The way SportsLink does things is a lot like a team, like the football team, and it kind of like, this is the first thing I think I said to Chris Taylor when I joined was it's like football, the way we run things, what's expected from you, kind of the accountability that's put on your shoulders, and I really love that part of it, and I really like how it's a lot like football, I guess.
Zach Hughes, you have a third question?
I think
question?
I'm fresh out of questions
Oh,
for you.
yeah.
All right, well, I have one. Can I ask one? Okay.
Of course.
I'll ask one, Aaron. Aaron, obviously, we've been talking a lot about Keith Wenning, your relationship with him, and now with the new quarterback coming in. Tyler kind of hinted at it earlier, but just regardless of who that QB is, what's that relationship like between the quarterback and the wide receiver?
We definitely need to have a good relationship. We definitely need to spend time together throwing in the off season. We need to spend time running routes together and even just hanging out, going to get dinner somewhere or something like that. We really need to be good buddies, I guess, so we have that chemistry on the field.
That's why Aaron keeps taking them out to dinner, all four of them.
I'm just ready because I've not seen it, on Twitter or anything yet. But is Aaron Hepp? Are you going to try and throw your name into the QB race? We've seen Zach Hughes. He pointed out his QB film. He's taking his name out, but
I did play a little Army scout team option quarterback last year, so I mean, you never know, I guess.
you never know. You heard it there, Coach Limbo. So if you need another option at QB, you can go with Aaron Hepp. To see more on Aaron Hepp and the Ball State football team and all the feature stories on all the other Ball State sports, be sure to download the SportsLink iPad app. Our friend Tori Fox from Ball State SportsLink gives you a preview on what you can find on that SportsLink iPad.
Want all your favorite Ball State SportsLink stories on the go? Download the newest edition of the interactive SportsLink iPad app, featuring award-winning videos, written pieces, player bios, and more. Download it exclusively from the App Store for free. Just search SportsLink.
How about that iPad? That looks on. I don't have an iPad. I may have to get one just because Tori Fox and Lemuel Young got me hooked on that iPad.
It looks really good this year, so I like it a
Outstanding.
lot.
It's the best it's ever been. Huge thanks to Tori Fox and Lemuel Young. They've done a great job putting that iPad together. All right, now let's get back, talk about some Ball State football. Okay, Coach Limbo, you can close your eyes, you can plug your ears. We're going to talk about the upcoming schedule, something they're just saying, hey, we got to get through the spring game Saturday. We got Colgate. We're not looking past that. We can do that. We're media members. That's one of the positives of what we can do. So let's get the schedule up on the screen. Zach, let's start with you. A game you think is just one you're going to point out at and that you're really eager to watch.
Well, I think they're going to win August 30th. They should win. They ought to win against a 4-8 last year Colgate team. Iowa interests me a lot because Iowa was 8-5 last season. I think it's going to be a good measuring stick. We've talked a lot about that Virginia game last year and how important that was to Ball State's season. So I think Iowa, they're beatable. They would have been beatable last year for the Ball State team. So I think it's going to be a good measurement of where they are now with what they've lost and who they've had to replace.
Well, I want to point out one from non-conference and one from the conference. And non-conference would be September 13th against Indiana State. It's family weekend. I think that game will draw some attention to Indiana football and the fact that Indiana State is a team in this area, Ball State as well. I know it's FCS against FBS, but I think it will draw some form of attention. But also, on November 28th, that's the day after Thanksgiving, at Bowling Green, the defending MAC champions. That game should be pretty interesting as too.
Yeah, the one game I'm going to circle is going to be October 25th against Akron. Here's why. The Zips, they were 4-1 in their final 5 games last season. Only loss in that stretch was to Ball State. They beat Toledo for the first time since 2008. And just to kind of put in perspective, Akron had a combined win total of 6 from 2009 to 2012. They were 5-7 last year. I think Kyle Pohl is one of the most improved quarterbacks in the Mid-American Conference. He had 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in the final stretch of those games. He had 8 interceptions before that point. Akron's a team with Terry Bowden, a legendary coach from the Bowden family. Like I said, beating Toledo at the end of last year. I think that's huge for Akron, and I think they're a sleeper in the Mid-American Conference this year. Are they going to win it and see them in Detroit? I'm not going to go that far, but that's a team you need to watch out for.
Well, Luke, if you need me to come back, because I think every time I picked Akron last season, they ended up losing. So if it's this important to Ball State, I can make a special appearance next year, pick the Zips for the upset, and you know it's going to go the Cardinals' way. Don't tell the Cardinals that.
He was taking Terry Bowden to dinner.
That is exactly why Zach Hughes. And Zach, you mentioned the Iowa game. How about this? The Mid-American Conference, last 2 games in Iowa City, the MAC teams have walked out victorious at being Central Michigan and Northern Illinois. We'll see if the Cardinals can do just that. That'd be fun. That'd be a great time. The pink locker room out there in Iowa City to get the win It'll be a huge win for Coach Limbo and company. Well, that's going to do it for this edition spring show of Third Down Chirp. Be sure to download the SportsLink iPad app and be able to watch the extended online and iPad version. Huge thanks to Tori Fox and Lemuel Young for doing that as well. You can follow SportsLink on Twitter at BSU SportsLink, also on Instagram at BSU SportsLink, and like us on Facebook. Just search Ball State SportsLink. Our friends at Dillman's Furniture, we appreciate them presenting the show today. It's always great that our friends at Dillman's Furniture produce this show. For our producers, they do an outstanding job. Alex Seitz, Drew Adamson, always in the room, always cutting something up to help us out. Our faculty advisors, Chris Taylor, Alex Cartman, our buddy earlier, Aaron Hepp, for the partners, the guys that really make the show go. Zach Hughes, Tyler Bradfield. I'm Luke Martin. Go out to the spring games Saturday, and until the fall, chirp, chirp, go Cardinals.